I was building this in a bubble, and I wish someone had told me, if you go and talk to this person, you will skip 5 years of pain.
Mm.
If you go set up, do you even know what a process and system is? No, I didn't. I didn't know. I knew those words were English, but I was like, I had no clue. What does that even relate to a business? Had no clue. The period of life that's also kind of expensive, because guess what? Guesswork is expensive. Shooting from the hip. You're like, I don't know. Do I mark up 10%, 20%? No, guys, we need more. We need people to tell us to charge more.
You're now listening to Design Curious, a place where you, creative one, are here to learn about what it really is like to be an interior designer. And I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. If you're worried about how to succeed in a creative career, if you're ready to learn your next steps to become an interior designer, and if you want the satisfaction of doing something you love every day, you are in the right place. Grab a coffee, a notebook, and let's dig into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to episode 184 of Design Curious Podcast. Today on the podcast, I have the privilege of interviewing Sonia Barney. She is an award-winning interior designer, business educator, and founder of Kaivari, a platform built to support interior designers with the right coaches, resources, and community at the right stage of business. With over 20 years of an interior design industry and more than a decade as the owner of Sonia Barney Design, Sonia has seen a consistent pattern emerge. Many creatives build beautiful work but struggle with the business side that sustains it. Through her own experience working with multiple coaches at different stages, she realized that business support isn't one size fits all. Growth requires personalized support, aligned expertise, and the right timing. That insight led to the creation of Kaivari, the first platform designed to thoughtfully connect designers with coaches, peers, and vetted business resources based on what they need right now, their personalities, and their goals. Sonia also teaches business strategy for designers through Luan University. Known for her analytical systems drive approach, Sonia brings clarity, structure, and momentum to everything she builds, whether it's designing a home or building a business. I have gotten to know Sonia quite a bit over the last couple of years as she's built this Kaivari coaching platform, of which I am now a part of. And so it's been great to see her build that. So let's get into our conversation and hear all about it. Hey, Sonia, welcome to Design Curious Podcast. It's great to have you on today.
Thanks for having me, Rebecca. I'm really excited to be here.
Me too. We've had a connection for a couple of years now. We got put together, I think, a mutual designer, and I think you guys both worked with Luann Nigera, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It's Yvonne. We meet every month. She's one of my wonderful design buddies that we connect, even if we live in different parts of the country. We connect every month. And
that's great.
She was saying how you had built a local design group. And I was like, I need advice on that because I want to do that too.
Yeah. Yvonne's great. She's also been on the podcast. So how fun.
She's incredible.
Yeah. So I am happy to have you on today. We get to find out your story. And I know you've been in interior design industry over 20 years plus.
Yes.
I don't know how long. So why don't you tell me how you got started?
Like a lot of designers out there, I went to school for it and have been in the industry for 20 years. I eventually set out on my own about 10 years ago, started my own business. And like a lot of designers, thought, hey, it will be so easy if I just run it out of my house and I'm my own boss and have my own hours. Yeah, my hours were set around having kids. So it was between drop off and pick up every day. It was still somewhat part-time. And I was not really necessarily approaching it as like a true business owner. I was just kind of ad hoc. And, I'm a designer. I know what I'm doing. So I just really approached it loosely and went with the flow. And it was probably about 5 years in that I was finally to the point where it's a full-time job. And I was super, super busy with all of this work coming in. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm drowning. I do not know what I'm doing. Why had I not learned how to run the business? How did I get where I am? I'm still guessing on how to contract each project. I'm still guessing on how much to mark things up. And I had naively just assumed The hardest part was the design, and I could just wing the business side.
Yeah.
Nah, there was, I did wing it, but it wasn't successfully winged. So after lots of trial and error and guesswork throughout those years, I was not really paying myself. And it was
Mm.
showing that I was working my tail off and not making any money. I'm like, there's got to be a better way.
Hmm.
So it was about 5 years ago that I was like, you know what? I need to invest in myself and invest in my business. And that was a big turning point. I say I finally hired coaches and
Hmm.
listened to more podcasts and went to industry events and hired a team and grew this because I couldn't do it alone anymore. And it's been such an amazing journey going through that and really finding out at the end that I really enjoy the business side, sometimes more than the design side, even though I still love design. Like I really enjoy the business. And since then have been enjoying teaching design through Luann University, not teaching design, but design business skills, and then building this other platform called Kaivari that is also geared to helping people grow their business.
Yeah. Gosh. So I had similar beginnings, as I'm sure I've told you before, but how many designers are out there doing the same thing, like winging the business part of it? Because we both did it. Like, I know there's
Yes.
other people like that. Like,
I still talk to people that are like, I've never hired a coach. Why is this?
yeah.
There's supports out there. There's other people, there's connections. And I'm like, yeah, we all just kind of build in our own little bubbles and figure it out and think, we'll just like band-aid it together and that's good enough. And it is to a point, but there's such a better way. There's a more profitable way.
Hmm.
There's less stress. Like how many designers do we know that are overworked and underpaid?
Hmm.
Almost all of them.
Hmm.
And it's because we know the design, we don't necessarily know the business side, and that's where the profits come in.
Yeah. Yeah. And unlike you, I also started to enjoy the business side of it. Like once I did get coaching, get systems, and oh, I can actually make money, and this is rewarding, and the client is happy now because I have a
Yes.
process that I'm following. And that was just a very pleasing part of the design process for me, was like the actual business part going into it. So yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of people like us out there who started just wanting to do design, but it's actually the business that is the important part.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have it together, you're not going to have a successful project for your clients. And in the end, we want them to be taken care of and for them to trust us and give us money. And if it's just a hot mess behind the scenes, it will show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talked a little bit about, your path was definitely changed by the coaches that you started to hire and work
Mhm.
with. Did you find that you needed different people at different points, or was there several coaches that you worked with over the years?
Yes. And so, yeah, there's so many out there. I've worked with coaches that are foundational, like ones that kind of get you back to like business foundations, what you need to have implemented into your business to actually run it successfully. And I've got ones that are specifically on speaking or sales or bookkeeping or whatever it is. There's all sorts of different types of coaches. And I've worked with quite a few over the years, some for like over a year and some for like a month. Like there's just
Mm-hmm.
so many different types that you can hire. My first coach was actually through the Small Business Center, which a lot of designers kind of forget. And even as a first-time entrepreneur, I was like, I didn't even know this existed. What great supports we have
Mm-hmm.
within our communities that you can get that business knowledge. I will say that was not necessarily that got me some support, but they don't always know the interior design industry. It really does help to work with people who understand our deceptively complex business. They just didn't realize that it's more than pillows and window treatments. Shocking. There's more to it than that. And working with people that are a little bit more specialized, and it's a deep pool out there, just so everybody knows, there's a lot of great experts that you can talk to, but working with the ones who understand our industry is imperative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned you teach on Luann University. How did you go from being coached to starting to coach others?
Oh my goodness, that was a journey. I went to one of Luann's events, Power Talk Friday, and that's where I've met other great coaches and great designer friends like Yvonne. it was at that event that I just was telling Luann, I was like, I prefer implementation. I prefer the systems. I love my spreadsheets. Everybody, I'm a giant nerd. I will admit it. And she was like, you are slightly different than some of the designers out there because not all designers like that part. And so we just continued talking and having conversations. And she eventually was like, maybe teaching for Luann University would be a great way to utilize that side of your brain. And I loved it. Right now, I get to teach 2 classes through that. And it's just a great way to spread my love of nerding out over data and spreadsheets and helping people break it down into a really wonderful way to incorporate into their business that isn't overwhelming. Because, I mean, unfortunately, when we're starting our businesses, we still do have to wear a lot of hats. We can't just say, oh, I'll just hire a 10 team to handle all of this. No, you still have to, at the beginning, kind of figure out how to do it yourself. Once you grow to a point, you can hand that off to someone else to manage. But let's build in some easy ways to track your data and make sure that you're staying profitable and you're not losing information.
Yeah, for sure. What does your design business look like today? Do you have employees? Do you, work in that full time? I know you're doing some coaching on the side, but is that still your full time gig?
It is. I'm still in my basement, everybody. I've got a small team with hiring that's been a little bit of a roller coaster because finding the right people. I don't live in a big market city. I don't have a ton of people here. There's great talent, but some of the talent, they own their own businesses. So finding the right teammates has been a challenge. Right now, I have one amazing assistant, and I don't want her to ever leave. And I had an admin. She retired. So I'm kind of like back to wearing the admin hat, but it is a small team. We are still full-time with that. And then with Luann University and Kaivari, I am doing extra and getting to do lots of extra work. But this is what I love. This is why I built a business when my kids were little, is I'm a better mom when I'm busy and I've got structure in my day and I have a reason to wake up every day. And this is what keeps me happy, is by putting all of this into my life.
Yeah. And I think that's good to say too, that you've been able to achieve that balance, that like each side of being a mom and having your business and being a coach, like it feeds you, gives you some full circle, like a well-rounded approach to life, right? Because it's like you're feeding all the areas.
And it doesn't mean that the way I'm doing it is the same for everybody else. There are some people who their version of balance looks different than mine. And where I was 10 years ago when I opened my business and my boys were little, now they're in high school. They don't need me as much. They're driving. I do have more available hours in my day, but that season 10 years ago, I didn't. So part-time was what I could fit in and what was perfect at that time. And I think the hardest part, not to go off on a tangent, but is that we get this comparison mode of like, well, look at that person. They have this incredible business and they're doing so much. And I'm like, it didn't start out that way. And their version of balance looks different than yours. And there can still be success in all different ways that you slice that business into your life.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's good to keep in mind. We all want different things, out of life, and different passions. And so someone recently was talking to me about that too. Like, how are you doing so many things? I have the mentorship, I have my podcast. I told you just now that you learned that I have an acoustic duo with my husband. We go singing at wine bars, doing covers and stuff, once or twice a month. But I could not do that 10 years ago because of my children. Right. So they're older now, 10 and 12, and they don't need me as much. So that's like, and it takes less of my brain power.
Yes.
I just was so tired all the time 10 years ago. So I couldn't have done this then. So it's going to look different in different phases of your life. Things will come and go and you'll start and stop different things. So speaking of, when we spoke a couple of years ago, about having that social like designer support group locally, for which I also run monthly here in Sacramento, but that's what you were looking into. And then we reconnected after a little while and you had started this Kaivari platform. So why don't you tell me about how that transitioned for you and like why you wanted to look at starting a coaching like matchmaker program for designers?
Yes, like for those who don't know, Kaivari is a online platform specifically for interior designers to connect them with a great support network, with the right coach, if you need a coach, with resource partners, if you need people to take hours and tasks off your plate, and with peers so that you can have somebody else to talk to and understand what you're going through. There's so much benefit to having all of those supports in your life. And really, the seed that germinated was when I was feeling like what I was doing in my business was wonderful and I love it, but I felt like I wanted more. I wanted to connect with people outside and do something that was more about interior design business. And as much as I enjoy mentoring and teaching for Luan University, I didn't really want to go down the coaching avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the data. I enjoy understanding. And I went back to like, what would I have wanted when I started my business?
Mm.
And I keep thinking back to that main pain point of I didn't know what I didn't know. I was building this in a bubble. And I wish someone had told me if you go and talk to this person, you will skip 5 years of pain.
Mm.
If you go set up, if you do you even know what a process and system is? No, I didn't. I didn't know. I knew those words were English, but I was like, I had no clue. What does that even relate to a business? Had no clue. If someone had just said, this is a way to speed up your profitability and speed up all of the pain that you're about to endure, I would say, sign me up. And so I was like, okay, I want a quicker way for designers to find the right people that are going to help them in their business so we can stop this frustrating trial and error period of life that's also kind of expensive because guess what? Guesswork is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting from the hip, figuring you're like, I don't know, do I mark up 10%, 20%? No, guys, we need more. We need people to tell us to charge more and that it's okay to do that and it's industry standard. So we need people that give us tools. They've already figured out how to run a successful business. They have these wonderful templates. They have processes that make sense, that work, and that are proven. If you can go tap into those, you don't have to do this winging it period anymore.
Mm.
So again, it was going back to, well, then who do you hire? Like if I can get to the point where I can convince people that they need support, then the question is, who do they hire? And I don't know if you've seen this, Rebecca, but since COVID, there has been such an uptick of coaches available. This virtual world of support has exploded.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful, but also it makes it a very deep pool of potential experts to hire. And you're like, who do I go to? From my experience, as I said, I've worked with a lot of different coaches. All of them have helped, but some have helped more. And it was the people I connected with beyond just kind of filling some gaps. It was the people who I connected with on our personality, how they were teaching, how they were delivering the information in a way that I needed at that time. There are some coaches that if they didn't understand my industry, then we were wasting time trying to explain it. If I was working with somebody where I didn't feel like we were on the same wavelength personality wise, it was frustrating. And I don't want that for people. And there are mistakes that people make when hiring coaches. I've talked with some designers who spent $10, $20, $30,000 on a coach to then find out it was a glorified group coaching and they thought they were getting one-on-one. They'd already invested that money. They were already in and they didn't like the format. They weren't pleased with it. Did they get something out of it? Yes, because it was still a great coach. It just wasn't the program they thought they were signing up for. And there's nothing more frustrating than investing a lot of money into something that you aren't happy with the results and aren't seeing the needle move in your business. If you're at a point where you're like, I can't do group coaching or modules anymore, and I need a one-on-one, then you have to go find the one-on-one. You can't just choose the one who someone says, hey, they're great, you should go for it. No, you need to do the deeper dive and understand who you need to hire.
Yeah.
Sorry, long tangent on
No,
how I got here of how to say, I know there's a pain out there and I built Kaivari to fix that pain, to speed it up.
Okay, that's great. So you are now then contacting different coaches, or are you probably reaching out first to people that you have worked with or you know personally to come onto the platform, interviewing them, seeing if it's a good fit. How do you envision it? Because there are so many coaches out there. Like, how many do you want on the platform, and where are you going with this? I'm so curious. Yeah.
As you can probably tell, Rebecca is one of our coaches on the platform, and she actually fits a really great niche of the new designers, ones that are brand new, either coming right out of school or transitioning. Not a lot of coaches fit that demographic, so we love having Rebecca on there. But as far as the platform itself, we want as many coaches as we can. I will put on 100,000, whomever, if we feel that they are the right fit. For one, understanding our industry, understanding creative entrepreneurs. You don't necessarily have to be an interior design specific coach, but you have to understand the creative mindset for that a lot of the designers have. You also have to have experience. We don't want someone who yesterday rose their hand and said, I'm a coach now. No, I want to see proven experience that you have worked with a lot of designers. Because again, my job with the matchmaking is to help people feel comfortable that I'm aligning them with the right fit and that this person is truly skilled as a coach. They could be a fantastic interior designer, but until there's proven that they know how to also teach and deliver that to other people, that's what I want to see. And I want you to feel comfortable that the coaches on here are the experts, that we weeded out the ones who are, I wouldn't say people are doing anything nefarious, but there are people out there that could potentially scam you. And that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We want to get rid of all of that so you feel super confident. These are the top ones. And then from the top ones, then we connect you with all the other things, whatever gaps you have in your business, how you like to learn, what your personality is, what type of coaching platform is better for you, coaching style, and what's your budget? What time do you have available? Those are a lot of different things that make an ideal fit and make it so that you're investing your money wisely.
Since I've been going through the beta with you, I can tell that you definitely come from data-driven background and love for that, because there's been all sorts of quizzes and questionnaires that we fill out to kind of identify what kind of coach are you. And then I know the same is on the other side for designers. And so I think that's just going to be so useful for you to find a good fit, or like it might change, at different points in a designer's career. Like, okay, now I need to focus on my finances. So you might have a financial coach who can come and step in that space. But I love the platform so far. Like the way that it is structured is similar to the one that I currently use for my design mentor. So it felt very familiar and it's very easy to navigate. And on the other side, where designers are going to come and be seeking out coaches, how do you plan to get the word out besides, like, of course, coming on podcasts and things like that? Do you think that you'll be at markets or different places like that to help raise awareness of this great service that is out there for this person who's maybe, not even like the way we were the first couple of years of business is like, I wasn't even thinking about getting a coach. I didn't know that was possible or out there or like an option or needed or anything like that. Because that's really the person a lot of times that really needs the service. And so do you have a plan for reaching out to that person?
I want to reach all of them. Now, yes, I want to go to all the markets. I want to talk to whomever and wherever I can. Obviously, we're doing as much social media reach out and through podcasts at the moment. But yes, I want to continue to spread the word. The challenge is it's for those people who are not already investing in their education. And like, I feel like if they're already listening to podcasts, they're already interested in how do I continue to up-level my business? If they're not attending the industry events, if they're not listening to podcasts, it's going to be really hard to get them easily.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a little bit. This is a brand new concept. This isn't out there. I don't even think there's any other industry that offers this kind of business level matchmaking. So I understand there's going to be a little bit of a pause and maybe a hesitation because they're like, what does it entail? It is a mixture of matchmaking. Like if it was Match.com and LinkedIn had a bit fabulous interior design baby, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Plus the community aspect of it in an affordable way. So it's not this pressure, but it's like, oh, I just all of a sudden have a network. I can be a solopreneur and have all the people, the right people who've already been vetted, and I can trust it at my fingertips. Getting that message out will always be the trickiest. And we are doing our darndest to get it out there. We just finished beta, right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
So it was still brand new. We're still getting the word out. We're in pre-sale. So it's like we've got early access at a very much reduced price just so that we can get as many people on there and spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do full launch in a couple of months. But this is the time to hop on and really experience it and see what it entails. Because if you think of how much time it would take for you to hunt for the coach, you're going to spend a couple hours. Well, I'm sorry, that paid for your subscription.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
You're done. Like, don't waste your time hunting. Just come in. I will deliver it for you. We will make it easier for you to build the right people to have in your back pocket.
Yeah. I love that whole approach. And also for those that maybe are like, I don't know if I need a coach, but I still would love to be a part of a community and have other designers. And then maybe when I'm ready, I can have a coach. Can they still get in and kind of be a part of that and kind of look around within the system and can it start making connections like that?
You bet. Like that's what's going to be great when we go to full launch. Like we have limited memberships now, but when we go to full launch, designers can choose from one of two packages. They can choose a membership type that gets them everything. You're getting the coach matching every year. We'll do a wonderful coach matching session with them. So even if you're not hiring this year or you do hire and next year you want to potentially hire someone else, we'll do it again and figure out that. You're getting the community, you're getting the directories, you're getting the online resources that we're having on there, the exclusive events. But if you're like, I just want to try out the community, I would love the idea of you linking me with peers who understand me, who I can meet with every month and really expand my network a little bit and my circle of influence. Guess what? We'll offer everything to you except for the coach matching at a lower price. So you can come in, have the whole platform available to you, and you still can hire coaches. Guess what? You're not required to hire a coach when you're on here. This is just giving you access and an easier way to pick them when you are ready.
That's great. Yeah, I think that'll be a great opportunity for a lot of people because designers can be so siloed in their businesses, solopreneurs most of the time. And there's not always a community or an association or something that meets in their local area. So they might not have a whole lot of support from other designers. And this is a great way to get connected with like-minded individuals, right? So
I will say when you talk with other peers, like I love the fact that not only are they giving you great advice, you've got people who can like, oh, I went through that too. This is what I did. And then you can learn from it, good or bad. Like, did they do the right thing? You can ask them that. They're also probably learning from coaches. So you're kind of learning vicariously through them. And one of the biggest things is that it normalizes the pains you're going through. Again, it's that comparison, like, oh, the grass must be greener on the other side. Not always. No, we're all going through
yeah.
bumps in the road and it's okay. Like it all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not failing just because I had this happen over here. Because everybody's going through it and there's always a solution. And that's where these peers really do help.
Yeah, I love that. Well, what else do we need to know about the program or about you before we send everybody over to your website to look at it?
Please come. Please come. This is, again, like it's pre-sale time. So know in the future when we do full launch, there's going to be a little bit more of a application process. But if you're wanting to test out the platform right away and see what we're working on, if you hop in at pre-sale, we are pausing that application process till we go to full launch. So you're getting in to the platform right now. We are having events. We are doing exclusive events with exclusive teaching. And these are great coaches that we already have on the platform. Rebecca is just one of them. We have other coaches already on there, resource partners that you can go talk to. This is a way to already get the level up business and start talking with other designers right now without waiting.
Great. Love that. And where can people find you if they want to check out your design side or the Kaivari side?
Oh, I would love to connect with you. So Kaivari Co, that's the Instagram handle, or Sonia Barney Design. Message me. I would love to chat. Again, this is new. This is not out there. I'm sure I could explain it better. So if you have questions, please connect with me. Ask. I will answer anything about this program. I will have another Zoom call with you because I want people to understand the benefits of it. There's more than what I can share here. There's just it's this depth of services that we are offering and a unique opportunity that, again, it's not out there yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Even if I wasn't a part of it, I'd still be recommending it because I just think it's so wonderful. Because you do need, like, even people who are coaches need to be coached as well, right? So I'm sure I will be flipping over to the designer side and looking for some coaching myself within the program. So I think it's great.
That is the unique thing. I don't know of any of our coaches who don't work with coaches too.
Yeah.
The more education you get about it, the more you realize everybody is looking to improve themselves. And once you get in that community, it's just a growing thing. It's this growth mindset.
Yeah.
So addictive in a good way.
Yeah.
Of just like saying, oh, how can I improve? This is a great way. And I love the connections that happen once you're in a community like this.
Yeah. Yes. Love, love, love. Well, thank you so much, Sonia, for coming on today. Like I said, we'll put all of the links in the show notes so people can find you, connect with you, get signed up, and just avoid all of the wasted years that we did in our first part of our career by being coached straight out the gate. So love that. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been great talking with you.
It's wonderful. Thanks, Rebecca.
So the links to check out Sonia and Kaivari are both in the show notes. You can check that out. It's a great platform. I have been enjoying the system so far, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're trying to find the right coach and who to work with. Of course, if you already know that you want to work with me, you can get signed up with my design mentor, and I'd love to work with you on starting out your career in interior design or your business or whatever it is that you have that you need help with. And also, don't forget, I have a link for the webinar From Passion to Profit, 5 Money Moves to Start Your Interior Design Business Right. And that was a webinar I did back in December. So if you missed it, then you can get the replay in the show notes. So check that out. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. And next week, we'll have another great episode. So until then, stay creative. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode, please leave a rating and a review. This helps me reach other curious creatives like you. If you have a topic request or would like to contact me, simply head over to my website, rwarddesign.com, or email me at podcast@rwarddesign.com.